So today I'm going to be doing a video that I think is fairly interesting and also I think extremely useful. This is not a video for just using your batteries or your electronics just in day-to-day use, I don't think. I think using standard, say, lithium, AA or AAA batteries or just batteries in general is probably going to be better for single battery use, I guess, for lack of better words. Because rechargeable batteries don't last as long as regular batteries do. But with that aside, this is kind of a video made for people who are going to be out in the field for, I don't know, say a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. You know, if you're overseas somewhere, shoot, this might be useful to you as well. If you don't have, you know, a Walmart or a gas station next door, you can just buy batteries. Or for people who understand that ounces equal pounds, pounds equal pain, you don't want to carry, you know, a 32 pack of AA batteries, a 32 pack of AAA batteries, and a whole bunch of CR123s. All that stuff weighs a ton. So this is a way to try to limit, I guess, your weight that you're carrying around, as well as kind of a practical aspect of almost infinite battery life. So wherever you're at in the world, if you have access to the sun, in theory, you could have infinite batteries. So this whole thing is basically reliant on this right here. And this is a power pack, but it's not just any power pack, it has solar panels. So you can see right here, it has 4 solar panels. So now the solar panels aren't enough to charge this battery 100%. You actually have to plug it into a wall outlet, and that gives you a certain percentage. And once you do that, and you have that 100% capacity, this thing is capable of recharging, I believe, whatever the largest iPhone is, I think with 10X, something like that. I'm sure there's newer ones. But it's capable of charging that somewhere between 10 or 15 times, or you could charge a large iPad, I think 4 or 5 times. You can charge a laptop a couple times. So that's pretty cool. It has a little flash on the back. Great. I won't ever use that. It does have a power indicator on the side right here. So if you push the power button, you can see the little lights light up, and that shows you how much charge you have left. Now, the cool thing about this is, one, you can charge a lot of your stuff a lot of times with it. But 2, even whenever it starts running low, even if you have a couple hours a day that you can leave this out in the full sun, you can top off this battery, or at least give you most of the charge enough to be able to charge your equipment for that day. So that was something that kind of appealed to me, because I don't want to carry around a bunch of batteries. So I've been testing all these batteries and various stuff I have around the house, remote controls, Xbox controllers, my stuff you see here. So that's just, I have actually tested this stuff and to make sure all these rechargeable batteries are accepted in all these different items. So the first thing I'll talk about, one, the CR123 batteries, I guess. So they are currently, they're the rechargeable kind. This is a side note, so I'll take these out of here for you. This is the Nightcore video flashlight I talked about in one of the other videos. This flashlight specifically, which is why I have white tape on it, actually drains batteries. So I thought that would be a good one to test these. So these are rechargeable CR123s. I couldn't tell you to see the brand, Biersch. I have no idea. Anyways, they're on Amazon. They come with this little pack right here, and all you do is you just put them into this charger, and this will actually fit multiple types of batteries, so that's kind of cool. But you put them in there, you plug this USB into your battery pack, which is right here, where it says USB, and you can charge 2 different items that use the USB with this power pack at the same time. And the middle one that I just covered up is how you charge that from a wall. So these CR123 batteries are rechargeable, which is nice. Now, a lot of times rechargeable batteries don't last as long or aren't as powerful, and that is kind of true. But with this specific flashlight, which this is a Nightcore, and I believe it's 1,000 lumens, it might be 800. It's somewhere up there in range. It's either 8 or 1,000. But you can see right here. So here's a low. I don't know if you can see that or not. You got low, higher, and then the highest. So it's incredibly bright. And I was expecting the highest setting not to work with rechargeable batteries, but they work just fine. I don't notice the difference between these and, say, name brand batteries. So the CR123s work just fine in regular flashlights. I also have some over here in my Enforce, which I'll turn it on for you. There you can see, works just fine. There's 2 in that one. I also tried, which I'll get to this in a second. That's pretty much all the things that take CR123s. It's basically the flashlight. So you have that flashlight, that one, that one. And those work in every single one I have. The other type of batteries I have, I'll show you here, are, let's see what the brand on these are. So there's a brand, Torf, I guess is how you pronounce that. But these, I'll take some out for you here. These I got off Amazon as well. They're pretty cool. They have this little port right here. Let's see if I can open it. There it goes. So you can see there's a little USB or micro USB charger port. Then you twist it and then it closes so you don't get dirt, pocket lint, whatever inside of them. And these I've been using in a bunch of electronics I have around the house, just all over the place, and they work extremely well. I was skeptical because rechargeable batteries in the past, I've had bad luck with. They'll last a little while and then they'll just kind of die and then they don't hold a charge anymore. These are actually lithium ion batteries. So I think they work a lot better. Now, one thing I will say about these specifically is they probably last about 75% as long as, say, a regular alkaline battery. So you do get less battery life with these. And if you use a controller, say you use an Xbox controller or something else where you're utilizing these, your stuff will just die instead of the low battery indicator turning on. Now, I don't know if that's true with certain EOTech models like the 512 that use AA batteries. Usually it has the low indicator where the reticle flashes. I don't know if you would get that reticle flash with these. I would assume you wouldn't, so your optic will probably just die out of nowhere. So one thing to take note of these is I would change them every so often and recharge them. And this little ring right here, if you can see it, will light up red or green whenever you're charging it. So it's red whenever it's charging and it's green whenever it's fully charged. But I absolutely love these things. I thought they were going to be kind of a gimmick, but they actually work really well. Now those AA ones are what goes in my IR illuminator over here. This is a Hollow Sun, I don't remember, it's a 117 something rather, Hollow Sun IR illuminator, or laser, not illuminator. But it works just fine on that. Test it out, works just fine. I don't notice any performance issues. This is an Enforce light for any of those wondering, and it's an IR and a white light, and with these rechargeable CR123 batteries, it works just fine. Either tested it out, works fine. The CR123 batteries also work well with this EOTech, and so I haven't noticed any performance issues out of those as well. Like I said, I've tried to test all of my equipment to make sure. Now, one nice thing too is, say if you have a little USB port right here on this Streamlight. I absolutely love this light. As you can tell, you can see it. It's well worn. I'm not gentle on my stuff. I carry this every day at work. But you can power this as many times as you want as long as you have a battery pack. Now, you can use a smaller battery pack if you want, like something like this. It's a little bit slimmer. It doesn't weigh as much because this one down here is bulky and kind of heavy. But you have that solar power capability. So if you're going to be out in the field a long time, you want the ability to be able to recharge your stuff if you don't have access to, a plug-in. So, but something like this would also work if it's going to be a shorter mission. And let's be honest, we go through our iPhones, probably a battery pack or a battery charge a day at the least. Some people go through a lot more than that. I'm not super addicted to my phone most of the time, so I don't necessarily need multiple charges. But if you have an app to say for a GPS or something on your phone, and you might be utilizing that more, you might want some charge. One of the other things I tested in, and let me show you this. This is just a cheap two-way Midland radio. This is what I use on my plate carrier. It's connected normally to a hand mic that runs up through my plate carrier, but I didn't want to take all that off, so I just took this off. Plus, I had to charge it anyways. But this uses normally a little rechargeable battery pack, but you can take this out and actually use AA batteries. And I tested the rechargeable batteries. They work just fine in this as well. So there's nothing that I've used, with the exception of these specific EarPro, and I've also tried the AAA batteries, which are these right here. These work fine in any remote control that I've used them in, and any kind of electronic like what's on a gun. But whenever I put them in EarPro, something about how these work interferes with the electronics in these things. So while it does work in these, you kind of get some sort of staticky feedback pretty much all the time. So that's pretty obnoxious. So I wouldn't suggest using those for EarPro. So I would carry some spare batteries specifically for your EarPro. So that's just kind of a side note. But one of the other things too is, I want to make sure you carry around cables for all your stuff. This specific one is for charging those AA and AAA rechargeable batteries, so you can charge 4 at a time off the battery pack. So that's pretty cool. So I know this is kind of, I don't know, a boring video, but it's something that I thought would be useful. Now, these batteries aren't super expensive, but they're not cheap either. I want to say they're about $20 to $25 for a pack of 4 of them, and you get a charger cable with it too. But they will easily pay for themselves over time, especially if you use them a lot like I do in just day-to-day household items. And one of the other nice thing, I just did a review on this too, this little Nightcore IR illuminator strobe. Well, it's not an illuminator, it's a strobe. But it uses a little USB port, micro USB port right there, you can see it. And you can charge it, again, as long as you have the cable, right here, you can charge it using this battery pack. So in essence, I'm trying to get away from carrying tons of extra batteries. So this is a way of doing that. Now, granted, you could argue this thing weighs, you know, as much as spare batteries would, and I'd give you that, sure. But you also have the ability, you know, to charge from the sun, so that's nice. So it's basically infinite battery life. Now, if you just want to, if you're just going to be out for a day or two, sure, just carry a couple extra spare lithium batteries. Don't worry about all this kind of crap. But if you're going to be out for a while, then you might want the ability to be able to charge things where stuff like this comes in handy. If you have any questions, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this video. Yeah, the only shortcomings, like I said again, we're using the Ear Pro specifically with that feedback. Everything else I've used them in is perfectly fine. Like I said, the only drawback you get is the battery life on at least these specific batteries right here. The AA and AAA, you get probably around 75% of the typical battery life of a AA or AAA battery. It's kind of a negative, but at the same time, as long as you know that ahead of time, you can just swap out batteries every few days if you need to. So hopefully you found this useful. If you have any questions, again, feel free to comment below. I try to answer any questions and reply to all the comments. Go ahead and give us a like if you like this kind of content. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you like it as well. All right, appreciate it. Have a good one, guys.